Hello. Today I wanted to talk about why your infrastructure team will look different in 2026. Most infrastructure teams are still operating like it's 2020. People check dashboards, people restart containers, people noticing incidents until too late. They don't know what's happening. People manually patching production servers at 2 a.m. If this is you, I hear where you are. Infrastructure in 2026 is changing completely. We're moving into a world where AI agents don't just answer questions, they operate systems. Honestly, if your stack isn't connected to AI properly, you're falling behind. We use this all the time. Today, I want to show you the exact infrastructure access I give to AI systems. We want them to be able to monitor production, detect security issues, improve CI/CD, fix deployment problems, monitor SEO and performance, even if you need, repair infrastructure automatically. The crazy part is we're talking about 5 API keys. This is not complicated to do. The big shift that we're seeing is that with AI, the misconception is that people think the magic is in the model, right? That's not. The big shift is the magic is operational context. So what you need is an LLM that can see the logs, access deployments, monitor analytics, inspect the infrastructure, read GitHub, create patch notes, that kind of thing, create PRs, interact with production systems. It stops being a chatbot. It's become an operational layer. That's the shift happening right now. We're moving from AI as assistant to AI as operator. Some folks are calling this applied infrastructure. I don't know how I feel about that, but anyways. The first thing you give an AI agent access to is Cloudflare. Here you can see how I've got a bunch of different services. They look like they're here, and they're all just Cloudflare accesses. Now, the reason you want to do this and you want to do it quickly is because this is the basic. It's not just DNS. You want firewall events, you want WAF rules, caching, analytics, bot traffic, tunnels, rate limiting, security center events. You want to give all this because your edge network tells you what's happening before your application does. This is really important. So think about it this way. Let's say you've got a sudden spike in bot traffic at 3 a.m. Normally, no one would notice until the server starts struggling. But an AI agent with Cloudflare access can detect the anomaly, inspect the source, apply firewall rules, invalidate cache, increase rate limiting, and open a GitHub issue automatically before anyone is even awake. That's not AGI, that's just connected infrastructure, right? That's why Cloudflare being at the edge is step one to do this. The next thing you want to do is Google and applied services. This is just PageSpeed rank. There's an API for it. A service worker on Google can run this automatically. Can run once a day, can run every couple of hours. This is one I just did. 95 is reasonable performance. Some GTM stuff. We prefer to keep it on the front end, but that's by the by. Infrastructure isn't just servers. Infrastructure now includes SEO, analytics, core web vitals, conversion tracking, search performance, lighthouse scores, user behavior, all of that stuff. And giving your agent a service account gives you Google Search Console, PageSpeed rank, Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager. What this practically means, and here's an example. So if you have a look at, this is a picture of our Google Tag Manager, you can see there's all these things. And if you have a look at it, they're all being handled by the service account. We haven't actually created any of these. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. If you can do this, this simplifies it far more. Imagine you've got a new front-end update. Your site technically works, but core web vitals suddenly collapse. CLS score spikes, mobile performance tanks. This is not good. The AI agent can detect the performance regression. It can compare it against deployment history, identify the offending commit, generate a fix, open a PR automatically. This is not a bad idea to do as a step after every time you have a deployment. Make sure PageSpeed rank is good. Just put it into your CI/CD, or have an agent that does it every hour. It's fine. It'll capture whatever you need. Your infrastructure should understand business impact, not just CPU usage. People get freaked out about this a little bit, but I like to give my LLMs access to the production server. This makes people uncomfortable, giving AI controlled access to production infrastructure. But honestly, it's where the biggest operational gains happen, right? So scoped access, of course, to Nginx, Docker or PM2, logs, containers, SSL status, disk usage, service health, and deployment state. Obviously, you want to do this with least privilege, audit logging, isolated permissions, and approval workflows that are intelligent. But the system actually becomes really, really powerful. When CI/CD is being done by an AI, it knows to check, and this could be as simple as a runbook or like a skill. It knows to read the logs, identify a missing environment variable, check the latest deployment, patch the config if there's an issue. Is there drift between env in dev and prod, and what should be in prod? Restart the service if required, verified health check, document the incident, all automatically. We want to move from reactive infrastructure to self-healing, proactive infrastructure. Right, that's where we want to go with this. Email. Most people completely ignore it until it breaks. Then password resets fail, onboarding emails disappear, invoices stop sending. It's painful. So give your AI access to Mailjet. Simple things that we do when you do a deploy of, say, our website CMS, which handles our contact us form and a couple other things. Once the deployment happens, go online, fill out the contact form, click the send button in a playwright test or whatever. With DevTools and MCP server, all good. And then you get an email from it. You know it works. It's a really simple thing to do and works really well. The other piece I'd really recommend is if you have both your email infrastructure, we use Mailjet, and Cloudflare tokens that the agent can see, it can go look at the Cloudflare Security Center and go, is SPF and DMARC good? And check that against whatever Mailjet's doing. So you have two places where you can check. And you do this after every deploy. It's fine. It won't hurt you. It'll make sure things are good. You want to know that your emails are failing before your customers work out your emails are failing, as a general rule of thumb. GitHub access. This is kind of what's bringing the entire thing together. GitHub access ties the whole system together. The infrastructure becomes collaborative. So with GitHub access, we can inspect CI/CD failures, read deployment logs. We can compare commits, generate patches, create PRs, incident reports, track recurring failures over time. In case of regressions, you can also look at different parts of your tree, of your work tree, and see what happened. So what I want you to do is think about this workflow. Deployment fails. So what does the LLM do? It checks the GitHub actions. Okay, something is broken. It then reads the Docker logs. It then identifies the issue, patches the Docker file, updates the environment config, opens a PR, explains the root cause, adds change log, done and done. That's not science fiction. You can do that right now. We do this all the time. I don't remember the last time I deployed something manually. I'm a little bit lazy. I have a skill book where I put in all of the deployment on a per project basis and then just say, read the skill book and then please deploy. Done. It's way simpler. What's the big insight? None of this requires AGI. None of this requires magical superintelligence, sentience, whatever. It requires connected systems, operational context, and scoped permissions. Everything that I've talked about is basically 4, maybe 5 accesses. The companies that win, I think, in 2026 won't necessarily have the best engineering teams, but they'll probably have the best connected infrastructure. Having a good engineering team is also good, by the way. But anyways, it's about having the best connected infrastructure. One other trick that we use that I want to talk to you about is, okay, so let's say you do all this. Now you have a slightly different problem. How do you manage secrets? So we clearly don't want our secrets file committed to GitHub. We don't want our ENVs committed to GitHub, because then if you have a breach there, how do you do that? Okay, so then we've got 3, 4 devs. They all have their own ENV files. The API keys are being shared on Slack. Copied secrets, stale credentials. Someone accidentally commits a secrets folder to GitHub. It's not good. So how do you bring this all together? We use 1Password, and that works really well because the team has one source of truth, credentials rotate properly, environments stay consistent, AI systems can securely retrieve scoped secrets when needed. You're not having conversations like which API key is production using. So I would really recommend you bring all that together. I think in terms of final thoughts, the future of infrastructure isn't humans doing less work. It's humans building systems that can operate safely on their own. Infrastructure should be observable, repairable, adaptive, autonomous. Giving AI controlled operational access is quickly becoming table stakes. I mean, if you don't do this, it's a problem. And the teams that figure out how to do this are going to move a lot faster than everyone else. I'd really like to know how you guys are approaching this. Are you already giving AI systems operational access, kind of like we are? You think it's too risky? Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more content on AI native infrastructure, autonomous operations, and how we look at engineering systems moving forward. Thanks so much.